having a problem with my bus that I've been having for like 8 years, and I've heard other people have this problem. So today I'm gonna fix it. Well, because I have another problem. Anyways, what I believe happens is, what does happen, when I start this thing up after it's hot, it always takes like 10 seconds to start up. And it's been doing it for 8 years now, over 8 years now. But in the morning, it cranks up half a turn. What I think is happening is the gas, the ethanol in the gas just evaporates faster than older gas, and with this kind of setup in Florida heat, it just like evaporates the gas out of the bowl, and then you have to crank it over till it puts more fuel back into the bowl, and then it fires up. It always fires up. It's never been a problem. It's annoying because people look at my bus and think it doesn't run, and it's not supposed to be that way. When they look at me like, "What's going to start?" I'm like, "It's going to start." But so what I want to do is put an electric fuel pump on it, so that way I could turn the key and it won't be a pulse pump. It's going to pump. So turn the key 3 seconds before I'm going to crank it over, and it should fire every time. That's my theory anyways. I'm not 100% sure if it's going to work, but I know other people have stated this exact same problem, and nobody's really told me 100% answer. And running non-ethanol on my bus isn't really an issue. I'm not going to do it because I drive it way too much. I'm not going to sit there and hunt non-ethanol gas every time I need to put gas in it. So I don't want to do that. I want to make it work with what I have. Putting the AC on didn't really help a lot. I mean, it helped me a lot because it's a lot cooler in there now, but the fuel line was vapor locking as well because it's jammed in the back, where it normally goes. But I insulated it, and that kind of took away that problem. But if I have an electric fuel pump, that line will be pressurized all the time. You don't have vapor lock issues when you have pressurized fuel lines. So today, that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put an electric fuel pump on here. Probably gonna mount it over in the fender away from here. And I'm gonna move the coil as well, just to get it, because it's jammed up in here. Everything is cluttered right here because of the AC compressor, and that is not coming off no matter what. So we have to make it work with that. So let's get to it. My back. Over here it'll be cooler, less heat and less clutter, and I can get at it. We got another little issue here that I just noticed. This stupid pipe, this is a bay window air cleaner, oil bay air cleaner. I live down a dirt road, and they say these work the best. I don't know for sure, but I've had good luck with it. It seems to be catching lots of whenever I change that oil in there, it's full of dirt down in there. So that's why the engine's all dirty anyways, because I live down a dirt road. But just notice that can't be good for it. And the reason I don't have the right piece here is because every time I find one of those, it's got cracks already in it. So I don't want one with cracks in it, obviously. And I stuck this AC duct on there, but like I said, it's been a good 8 years. It's done. Gonna have to put a new piece on or do something there. Put it off of there. Ooh. That cover wrap. Custom. 2 holes. Maybe we'll take the carburetor off again. Make sure it's clean. There's a new coil wire that I had here, but I have to put the end on. But let me mount the coil up over here. It'll get at least the breeze from that. It won't be so cluttered behind this compressor because it gets really hot back there, and that could be a problem, and at least make the coil not last as long. But I think mounting it right here would be easier to get to the wires if need be, and easier to get the distributor out, all that stuff's out of the way. And if that's gone too, I can leave the compressor. So we're gonna make up this line here, but we'll mount that first. what we're gonna do is use these rib nuts or nutserts. These are stainless ones, so they'll be strong. These ones have a flange. They have some others that have no flange, so they kind of fit flush up into it. But they're ideal for this kind of stuff. You just drill a hole the size of this, and it kind of goes in like a rivet. You put it in, you tighten this up, and this top part will swedge over top of the bottom part, and it'll stay up in the hole there. So now you got like kind of like a factory nut that would be in a chassis or whatever. You see them all the time. These are great. I use them all the time. Shit. Uh-oh. Okay. Here we go. Come on. Oh, should be long enough. Ooh. There it is. Alright, that's one. That looks great. Alright. So we can make sure that it's going to reach. That's going to be fine. Let's cut it off right about here. Use this plenty. Also need to make sure the bench wire is going to reach. That's going to be close. You're going to make it. They sell these. Oh, we're going to have to extend that. Look at that. Maybe if I rotate the coil. Well, I think they sell them with a longer wire, but I will just extend that being I replaced this yesterday. I extend the other one anyway. It's our crimping tool for the plug wire, coil wire now. What you do is you line it up with the end like that, take your razor knife, hold it on the end, and you spin it. And that's it. Just twist it off after that. And you got just the right amount. Cut that off. Fold that over, and you get to use the tool again. Prep it together. That folded down. Pinch this around. Something like that. A little bit more. Then you take the tool they give you. It's got this little piece like that. And stick it right. You gotta pinch those down so you can get it in. Once you get it in, you can kind of see there, like it's gonna curl those metal pieces around. Just try to get it in there straight as you can, like that. Line that piece up, and you take it over to your arbor press, because we know everybody has an arbor press now.
heard you could use that to drill a square hole too.
It's impossible.
That's it. Theoretically, that shouldn't come back off.
Just like the factory did it. Coil wire installed. Hopefully this works out in the end. We'll go for a test drive when we're all done. Hopefully we can make it back. Oh yeah, look at that. That's slick. Plenty of slack in that. It's not going to hit my most important air compressor. Let's extend this wire, the power wires. We'll reach over to the coil, and then hopefully our fuel pump will show up by then. Pull the air cleaner out of the way here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it right here, which puts it nice. But right behind this wall here is the brake caliper comes up. We've got Corvette brake calipers back there, so the part of it comes up real close to this wall, so I can't put a hole anywhere in here. It needs to be at least 2 inches away from the tub. So I want to leave this far enough away so that I can have a nice sweepy bend and no kinks in that hose. But gas tank is right there, so this is really close to the bottom of the tank. There's going to be no issues with that getting fuel or having any vapor lock issues or anything. This should work out super nice. And if I'm ever stuck on the side of the road with the issue with the fuel pump, I don't have to get under it or anything to fix it. It's going to be easy. Check everything right here. Put nutserts in this, so if I'm stuck on the side of the road with a bad fuel pump, I can get to the back side of it. I don't have to get to the back side. I can just take it off from this side, so I don't need any help to get the thing off. So it'll be making it a little bit easier just in case. Hopefully I don't need it, but that one there damn near can go all the way up to the battery. But since it already had these ground wires for the, I don't know what they're for, the alternator. Where's the other one at? Missing one. Oh, that's just going to the battery. So it is a ground supply switch. It's all right here. Pull off my AC bracket to get this out of here. Thanks. No. Alright, let's take the alternator off. Oh, not the alternator. Let's take the carburetor off. I found this over on my shelf over there from leftover parts or something or whatever. So the fuel pump block off plate. Here, oh, that'd be cool to use. Apparently, you use socket heads for that. So we went over in the lathe and made a couple of spacers to hold down because I'm not pulling those studs out. So let's see how that works out. Oh, look at that. That's nice. Problem solved. And all the room for activities now. Okay, everything's in. Got our fuel pump mounted. I ran the fuel line above the engine over here. I have a blaze cut up there as well. But at least that way it's not going to be where it gets hot. And the only spot that's actually even moving is just going to be this little tiny bit right here. Same with the wires. Coil's mounted way over here, so I won't have all that heat that just... I mean, it was hot back up in here. Not that it's not going to be hot there, but it's going to be less hot. And now the fuel line is going to be pressurized. So I'm thinking problems, and I know I'm not the only one that's had this problem, is the ethanol in the fuel evaporates faster than fuel. Just look that up, and it's about twice as fast. But that's mixed, you know, or not mixed. It's straight ethanol, and that's obviously mixed with gasoline. So I don't know exactly what it is. So it's all just theory, but I know now if I turn the key on, fuel's going to go to the carburetor before I crank it. So I don't have to crank it to get fuel going back to the carburetor. So hopefully that fixes that problem. So let's take for a ride, see what it does. Been a few weeks since did the fuel pump, and bus runs perfect, runs terrific like it always did, but I'm still having those issues with the cranking. I just last weekend drove it up to Alabama and stopped at a airplane museum. It was really nice, and I found a car show up there, so I got to pull up there. That was fun, and but it still does the same thing. It starts right up in the morning, and then after it's warmed up, you have to crank it for a little bit. I've tried, you know, just turning the key on for like 10 seconds so the fuel pump could fill up, and every now and then it seems like it works, but most of the time it doesn't. So any ideas? I'm all ears. It's been like this for well over 8 years now, and it's not like it's not going to start. It always runs, but post them down there because I'd like to know. I'd like to fix this one of these days.